hear
I
what's
had it
going
on
on.
earlier. Okay, now we're on.
Is that better?
All right.
It's a good thing we don't kill the audit.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So no one's going to come up on it. So
Does anybody want to come up for the Elks Club to speak on this?
represent the Elks Club.
What do you want me to say?
Why don't you say that maybe you want to have all these events?
The only question I have is it really September 11th? Because I thought Pioneer Weekend was September 18th.
September 19th.
19.
But on this it says September 11th.
Well, the application's right, though.
Okay, so,
What on my face sheet?
yeah.
But the dinner dance one you're talking
So
about?
it's the 19th, not the 11th, okay.
19th?
You were just thinking about ISIS at the time.
I know.
Okay, we'll go back out
Yeah,
of
September 19th.
public hearing if there's no comments, back into regular session. And I guess we can make a motion now for it.
I make a motion that we approve a special event beer and liquor license applications for August 7th bar dance at Pioneer Park, which will be beer. St. Jude's dinner dance at the Elks Club, liquor August 15th, September 19th, Pioneer Day dinner dance at the Elks Club, October 10th, Oktoberfest, Elks Club, October 25th, Sons of Italy Spaghetti dinner at the Elks Club. And the last three, the last four are liquor. Liquor service.
Second?
Okay, we have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Villagrana.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Henninger. Merriwer.
Aye.
5 ayes. That's good.
Okay. Next, we have visitors. Alan, on the Pioneer Day street closure.
Good evening, everyone. Alan
Name and
Isley.
address.
Pardon me? Is it on?
Yeah,
Is it on now?
yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Alan Isley, Florence Chamber of Commerce, and the Office Administrator, Corey Stone. We're here tonight to ask for some street closures. Typically, these street closures would be taking or be effectuated by the Pioneer Day Committee or special events. Anyway, they asked us to take over this street closures this year. I don't know if it's because of the new procedure or they just want us to help them out, but here we are. We've got 3 of them to go in front of you. I'd really like to take them one at a time. There's actually 3 street closures, and I'd like to go ahead and start with the main parade route.
So you're representing the Pioneer Day Parade.
Yes, the Pioneer Day Parade. And if you've got your map there in front of you, it will be Church and Main Street from West 3rd to Robinson Avenue. Now, the actual parade will only be to McCandless Avenue, but since you can't, there's no outlet there from Robinson to McCandless, it's typical that it's just closed off there at the street light. Now, I really think we didn't discuss it in the Pioneer Day Committee meetings, but as you turn and go north on McCandless Avenue, we didn't request that that be closed. Typically, that's where they debark at, they ungroup. So I guess if we need to amend that to include that, we should probably do that. If not, we'll just close it through Main Street. Yes.
Alan, I wouldn't want to see it close McCandless or 2nd Street there because of the fact that people parking and getting ready to go to the parking center. And if you close, you're going to just not provide a lot of parking spaces.
That's also our alternate route for traffic for the state.
Right, from between Main Street and 2nd Street on McCandless?
Main Street, McCandless.
Yes.
And if you close 2nd Street where all the people go down.
That Second Street would have not have been intention, just the first block between Main Street and Second Street. That would be between the bank and the tire shop there, just so they can disembark. And, you know, if there was a problem,
No.
we can just keep it at that.
I was just concerned about parking spaces that would be in front of, that all the people would use to park there to go to the, on Second Street.
On Second Street, yes. No, we wouldn't have anything to do with Second Street.
But the people would be allowed to disembark and go down that one block of Main Street from campus, right?
Right, that would be to disembark there. Mhm. So if I could just go ahead and get an approval on that one before we move forward, because we might want to amend some of these other street closures.
I have a question.
Yeah.
On that map, you're showing it closed at
Yeah.
Third Street, and I don't think the state patrol is going to allow it. Because Third Street is our alternate route, but it also, after, when the parade moves on, Second Street is also an alternate route.
And we did discuss whether that would be proper or not either, and it's fine with me if we would like to amend that
If you could
to go
move
from
it back.
Second and Church.
It's more
to-
palatable to the state patrol.
Right, and plus it would keep that store open also and keep Mr. McAllister happy. So I would actually be asking you from Second and Church Street, all the way through Main Street to Pikes Peak and Main Street. And to include, to Robinson, I'm sorry, and to include one block of McCandless between Main Street and Second Street.
So this block. So we can get it, Mark. And that's for the parade, right?
That's the parade route, yes, sir.
And why are you closing that one block for the parade too?
Just to disembark, so that people aren't coming there when the bands and the floats are trying to offload everybody. Because they're not going to actually offload on Main Street. They're not going to degroup there. They're going to go ahead and turn the corridor to degroup.
All right. Any other questions? Charlotte?
I'd like to make a motion.
Mayor, he's asking that these be approved as he's going down through because he's making amendments to it. So it's up to you whether you want to approve these as he's bringing up.
Yeah, let's go through them individually and get them one at a time and improve them. Yeah, that way we can
I
get
think it'd be less confusing, because there's,
Like
them
that.
straightened.
Make a motion that we close Main Street from Church and Second Street, down Main Street to Robinson, and also one block of McCandless from Main Street to Second Street.
Second.
Correct?
that's correct.
Okay, we have a first and second. Let's go ahead and pass that one.
Cannonier,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Filigrana, Edwards.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye.
5.
Okay, on to the next one.
Thank you. Yes, we'll move to, I'm going to save the Pikes Peak for the last one. Let's move to the park, to Pioneer Park. We're actually asking for between East 3rd Street, down Petroleum Avenue to the bridge, which is not to 4th Street. It's just going to make the corner and go west. And it will include West 4th Street from Petroleum to Pikes Peak. Now, the purpose for this road closure will be, we have shuttle service running to the air show, and we've also got Dawson Stables that will be having the wagons and horse-drawn wagons loading and unloading through that area.
To the airport?
No, just to Pikes Peak.
To the airport?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's for the air show.
Okay.
So this is around the park,
It goes
right?
It'll be west between 4th Street and Pikes Peak. I mean, between Petroleum and Pikes Peak.
On
That's where the
East,
red line is.
It's where the red line.
Yes.
Well, a lot of them got black and white, right?
Oh.
So the red lines don't really show up there.
I just want to point out that there is one residence there that is their only access in and out of their property is actually going on
Is
that
that-
portion of West 4th Street.
Okay,
So would you be able to accommodate and leave like
Yeah.
half of the street open?
Yeah, and the street will be open. It'll be patrolled by the
Okay,
junior members of the police department.
okay.
are you talking about the one right here on the corner?
The one closest to the ditch. Yep.
Okay. And did you happen to talk to these people about
I
any of
think
this?
that one house that you're referring to is actually for sale, isn't
It
it?
might be.
Yes, I did ask about it, and they said that it was vacant at this time, but we will leave it open anyway. Both ends will be open for access. They just have to check through the guards to come through.
If you have to leave space for them, that's all right.
Right, and the shuttles will be running the whole circle there. The shuttles will come in from East 3rd Street, and they will depart from East 4th Street, going north to the airport.
Police chief have something.
I think Sam has.
Okay, any other questions on it?
Police chief, maybe?
Chief wants to
I've
talk.
just got a couple. We normally, traditionally, and historically, we close Main, actually we close it at Washington and Third, right here by City Hall, because traffic has to flow down Third. If we move it to Second, there's gonna be a lot of confusion, especially with all the event people, the parade people, we line them up on Second, so we like to close it at
So
Washington.
you're saying leave it the same as it actually shows on
Shows
this?
on there, but he was saying Church and Second, it kinda threw me up, but then,
We
what about Fourth Street here by the park?
Because Third
That's my
Street
only
is the
question.
alternate
There's a
route.
lot of the seniors pulling in park
What
and
he's saying is they
stuff
come
here.
going through under.
Are you closed, you want that closed?
Yes, this whole area here closed. And actually, it's going to be open. It's just going to be used for shuttle services and for the
He's
horse and
saying
carriage
Washington.
wagons.
It doesn't block there.
That's why we just didn't want regular traffic going through it.
That blocks the access.
And where's the pool gonna park, the people in the pool will be open out there, or is it closed? The pool's closed.
That's closed.
By
That's
then,
closed. right? Okay,
By 8:15.
I mean, I'm just thinking about, like you said, the seniors who park there, some of the event people park there and, set up, bring their trucks in and that. I'm just wondering if, your access for those people, if you're gonna allow them in and that.
I don't
If
see
you're
why
gonna have
not.
if you're gonna have somebody monitoring who's coming in and out then.
The Explorers, I believe, is who we asked to monitor these ends and whatever special directions we give them. If we want to leave
I
access.
haven't seen any requests, that's why I don't know did you talk to Cricket?
Coach Burleson was supposed to talk to Cricket.
You need to
But
make
if he
sure.
doesn't, I will make sure that.
We need to make sure that we do have conversations, because these are all things that need to be worked out, because they're asking for the Explorers for other places too. So I want to make sure we have enough to
Okay.
make sure that we know what we're going to do here.
Sure.
Like I said, everybody sets up, that's where they set up all the food, remember, back here, and that's so people, they're bringing trucks in and stuff, the music. So we need to have somebody, we need to make sure we have somebody monitoring who's coming in, who's coming out, who's allowed.
Right.
Yeah, then he said that
Yeah, the pony ride, and those big weird-looking poles that they ride are over there too. You remember them? Those are like 12 foot tall.
Okay,
So if you'd like to put stipulations on that, on monitoring those ends, that would be fine, and we'll make sure that that's taken care of.
so you're not requiring the whole street to be just closed off, just monitoring.
Monitored, right.
Okay.
It's more for the safety of the patrons getting on and off the shuttles and the getting on and off the carriages for Dawson Stables.
And who's going to be monitoring?
We had anticipated the Explorers monitoring them, but the chief had said that he has not had word from that yet. Coach Burleson that was his task. We have a meeting Wednesday. We'll go ahead and finalize that and make sure that this is taken care of.
So it is going to be our police department then?
Yes,
It is.
either from the Explorers or for,
yeah, that's
yes, the Explorers. That's who we would
You're well
request.
aware of this?
Nobody's ever approached me with any maps or asked me or anything like that.
And that's why I'm seeing that deer in the headlights look on your face? Yeah, I thought so.
The map truck just hit me. Because I have, we've got all the other intersections we need to shut
Yeah.
down, so I need to make sure I know in advance, to make sure we plan with it.
If you'd like to table this until the next meeting, I can bring confirmation.
The timelines on when these are closed are not the same as the parade, however, right?
Right, let me give you the timelines on that, I'm sorry.
So it's not the same time as the parade.
It's a different date.
That's good.
It's the same day,
It's
but
the
it's
same
a
day,
different time.
Different time.
That is actually
Yes.
September 18th, between 6 and 10 p.m.
Whichever day Saturday is, I think I'm...
No,
September 19th, I'm sorry.
19th. Yeah.
Yes.
and you want the parade closure from 6 a.m. to whenever.
That would be fine.
Mike wants to ask you a question.
So Alan, as far as the parade goes, focusing on just the parade, it's basically what you're asking for is what happens every year.
Yes,
So the parade is
it's
the same.
typical of every year.
The parade is
But it's over at
basically,
noon.
yeah, it gets done at noon. What you're asking for in terms of around the park, you're asking for Petroleum and 4th Street to be closed, but only so that you have the ability to have shuttles and a horse-drawn carriage type thing going in there.
Yeah, just a restricted
And
access.
so you will have somebody manning that, be it the cadets or somebody else. So what council could do is council could say they would make the closure conditioned upon somebody manning those barricades, which is frankly what we do on all of this. If you don't have somebody manning the barricades, the closure is pretty suspect anyways.
You know, Mike, I would recommend, I just mentioned, I would recommend that we table this particular part until Rich Burleson has a chance, Alan and Rich Burleson has a chance to visit with Chief, so that, make sure that there's manpower to man all these places. I think that Alan would be most agreeable if we just table it until next meeting.
Well, it sounds like it's no big problem. I don't know that we need to table it, but I would say that we make a continuance that it goes in coordinates with the chief. is
Well,
what he
or they
plans.
find some other group of
Yeah.
volunteers. Doesn't necessarily have to be the,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I just go by this.
Okay.
There's still enough time, and there's groups like the Mountain Rangers that are out there that can handle
The sheriff's
stuff like
Yeah,
posse.
as long as we get it straight,
Yeah.
that's what we need to do.
Yeah,
So,
I can get with the Rangers and the Explorers and make sure I have enough lights, need to make sure I know every
Yeah.
place. When you cover 6 and 10 is a long time. So we're gonna
And
just
you
split
prob-
the shifts up and stuff.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, you probably should have came to him in the first place and made sure everything was correct.
well, I think Alan thought
Charlotte.
he did. or somebody.
I did. I thought it was taken care of.
That we go ahead and close the streets of Petroleum
Continues.
from East 3rd to, and then West 4th Street. East 4th Street from North Pikes Peak Avenue to North Petroleum Avenue, North Petroleum Avenue to 3rd Street to East 4th Street. On September 19th from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. with the stipulation that they have security that's going to man the barricades.
Approved by the chief. Okay?
Second.
Okay, we have the second roll call on that one.
Henninger.
Aye.
Filigrana.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Okay, just make sure you get up with him and make sure everything's correct.
We have a meeting
You're good to
Wednesday,
go
we'll
on
go ahead
that.
and take care of it then.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, one more. This has to do with the street dance. This actual date on this is, it's going to take 2 days. We're looking from September 17th at 6 p.m. at night till September 19th. Well, and I'd like to amend that. It says September 19th. And let me explain why. September 19th at midnight, we're going to have a stage set up there. So the event's probably going to close at 10 or 11 o'clock anyway. To get that street cleared off, I think we're going to need more than an hour. So I'd like to go ahead and, when we first talked about it, I was fine, but we really need a couple more hours than that to get this street cleared off. So I'm asking it to be extended or amended to the 20th at 2 a.m. So it would actually be from September 17th, which would be Thursday night at 6 p.m., till September 20th at 2 a.m., which would be Sunday morning at 2 a.m. in the morning instead of 12 midnight.
The reason, why are we closing it on Thursday?
In the evening.
Thursday night at
Okay.
6.
And I'll get to the reason that I'm asking for that next when I go ahead and point out what this part of the street that we want to close. We're actually,
They won't have any activity, though.
pardon me?
There won't be any activity. It's just closing it.
Well, the second half of the block will on the street closure, and here's why. The first half of the block, we're asking for the block to be closed between Main Street and Front Street, with the exclusion of the alley to be remained open. The first half of the block is going to be for the street dance from Louis to Main Street. Then from the alley to Front Street is going to be Punkteak, which is very similar to Junkteak. Now, Junkteak, we've already got the approval on that. It also closes Thursday night, so we can do a setup on that, mark the spaces for it. So that's why we asked for the street closure that night. Because if we left it open just for a half a block, the city workers, Sam, had already told us it's better just to go ahead and close it right there at Main Street, because people will pull in there and they won't be able to back out, and it causes more confusion. So we went ahead and asked for the whole entire block to be closed.
And how late are these bands going to play till?
Typically, I think it's midnight, isn't it? The street dance?
I think they stopped playing it at 11, isn't it?
I think.
It's earlier than that.
But it won't be
I
any
think
different than it
no
has
later
been in
than
the
11.
past.
That's what I was questioning. Is
Yeah,
how late,
and
because
whatever you
I know
agree
there's
to
a lot
is,
of people
it's going to be fine.
like Millie's up that end. A lot of people live up that way.
Yeah, because I can hear the bands at my house, so yeah.
Yeah, whatever you stipulate, we'll be fine with.
Charlotte?
Have you spoken to any of the merchants that are on that other half of the block?
No, we have not. I don't think, have you?
No, I have not, but I believe that most of them are closed on Saturdays, or is that just the bank that's closed on Saturday?
Who's up there?
It'll be closed all day
They
Friday.
got the massage, there's two, I think, massage parlors.
The hair salon.
The hair salon,
The
and
hair salon.
then there's our shop on the corner, we should be.
The paper's up at that end.
Oh, she was ready for me on that one, wasn't you?
Yeah, that's true. They need to speak to them.
Well, I think we did, in the conditions for our permit, or to the new format that we use, we discussed whether we was going to address every business that was on the street, or whether we was just going to make it public. And we found that, in our discussion with everybody, that it was not practical to go ahead and, like for Pioneer Day, the same thing would have to happen. We would have to go ahead and contact every single merchant on that street to ask for that, because if it's good for one street closure, it's got to be good for all of them. We can't exclude Main Street from Front Street or any other street. If we have a procedure in place, it has to go for all of them. So if we're going to do that, then we actually have to do that for the Pioneer Day too. We have to poll each one of those businesses and before we get a street closed.
Well, for the Pioneer Day though, it's just closed for the parade, like for what, 2 hours or something?
Yeah.
You're not talking long. Now for the Louis Street dance, you're talking quite a bit of time there.
Right.
You're talking,
A little more for Punkteak.
Yeah,
Not as
and
much for the
Punkteak,
street
too.
dance, for the punk, because the street dance is just an evening thing as well, but it's Punkteak that's
yeah,
just the 2 day.
that's what
And
I'm
the street
saying.
dance is actually
The
going to be 2
parade.
days also.
Merchants don't get upset or any of them because it just goes through and it's gone in a couple hours. But,
Well, here's the thing, we did establish this
Mhm.
this procedure, and we either have to follow the procedure or let's change the procedure.
But we did it for Main Street. We did it for the Halloween walk, Pioneer Day, for the Main Street, for the parades and the 4th of July parade, not the side streets, because you had to do it for Junkteak.
I don't believe we
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
we?
you did.
yeah, because we talked to the lady that's got the handicap spot down at the end.
So I'm to understand then that our new policy will be any side street
That has a
takes total
business that would
consensus
be
from all the
open.
businesses.
Well, I don't think they're saying total consensus necessarily, they're saying ask and find out who's got,
Yeah,
what the general consensus is. Like, I think Amanda at Florence Hair Company is
Right.
okay with it, but
yeah,
I'm not positive. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one thing when Louise had the street dance, but if she's gonna be closed the whole time, with that part I'm not sure about. The bank, Pueblo, the credit union, probably not a big deal because they're in the corner, but Dr. Gay and some of the other folks in the massage
Yeah.
parlor, they're probably gonna be okay, but you wanna check with them and just see where they are at on it. What we wanna do is try to come up with alternatives that make it a win-win for everybody.
we don't want them coming back on us and say, why did you let them close this? And be all upset at the city for closing that block down. You understand?
Well, no, I understand, but I'm just going by the procedure we had set up, and we talked about polling all the rest of the businesses.
Remember when we did,
When we did Steampunk, we actually
Steampunk,
did
you
ask
went around
everybody.
and asked them people.
I
Same
personally
thing.
did.
Yeah, okay.
the state's going to be set up?
It will be set up on Saturday. But, yes, but Punkteak would actually be set up the night before.
Is it just steampunk fog going to be on?
Because they get here so early in the morning, Saturday morning.
They're talking about Thursday, so you can start setting up. I don't understand. You're asking for Thursday night?
Yes, just like Junk Teak. We actually set up Junk Teak the night on Thursday night also. We go down there and paint all the booth markings out.
All you're doing is that traffic will still be able to go by, you're just marking the spots, et cetera.
I would have no problem with that.
No, I don't
But they-
understand. I'm asking.
But, it might be confusion about who can park there and who can't park there then, because once we do all the labeling of the booths, we're going to want to restrict the parking there.
Right. We went around, when we did it now, we went around and put pieces of paper that says that it's going to be closed, please park somewhere else.
Yeah, but the state will
Because
still
I
be open.
know I have to move all mine.
And I'll be glad to poll all these businesses and bring it back in 2 weeks. That's fine.
Okay. I don't think there's that many for you to poll. There's like.
There's
you
probably
said,
less than a half a
couple.
dozen in the
Yeah.
whole 2 blocks, yes.
So no big deal. So what we could, huh?
I've got a question.
Sure.
You want to shut down Thursday night. What are you setting up Friday for the dance Friday night?
We will be setting up for the dance Friday night, but also the second half of the block will be setting up for Punkteak, which is a lot like Junk Teak, where they have booths for the second half of that block, from the alley to Front
I
Street.
understand that, but when would they be setting up? They're only going to be open Saturday and Sunday for Punkteak.
No, Friday and Saturday.
So they'll be Friday and Saturday also.
Yeah, it's just Friday and Saturday. Sunday, no
Why are
Sunday.
you leaving the alley open? That's a concern of mine, that you're leaving the alley open.
It was my understanding that we needed to do it for the fire department.
Well, and that's,
Yeah, but-
people are going to think they can go to some of the businesses coming down the alley, and that's a concern of mine, especially with the dance, when you've got people that are going to be in the street, that's not blocked off for when your prime times are and people are going to be walking around. I mean, wouldn't be uncommon if somebody try to use the alley, those alleys are used quite a bit if it's open. Now you got an open alley for traffic, and you got people standing there.
And that alley's travel from one bar to the other bar.
Pretty heavily. That's a concern.
It's
of
like a
mine.
freeway now.
Do we leave on Junk Teak? Is the alley left open?
That alley's
Yes.
nowhere near.
Yeah, but the alley's the
Yes.
other way.
It's
I mean, where Junk Teak is, it's over there on Santa Fe the other way.
Well, Junk Teak doesn't set up booths for the whole block, just from the alley to Main.
Right.
So that
Exactly.
part of the block isn't used. So the alley can stay open because they can enter and exit.
Just for restricted access. I mean,
Yeah.
if there was an emergency vehicle, there's not going to be booths set up in the alleyway.
Right. That's what we've done
Right,
every year.
right. We're trying to provide security, not,
Well, I understand what you're talking about, even with the alley though, you still got the break, so you have Punkteak, your dance section, you still have the alley, but you got the people that are gonna be just traveling in and out, between between the alleyways.
and we could cordon that off.
And that's what I'm
But
saying,
just
that's
leave
a
it-
concern to me, that we have traffic flowing east and west
Where's
with
the
all the people.
stage?
So, I think that's something that maybe you and I can sit
Usually
down
on
and
Stage
address.
gonna be the way it
Yeah.
is?
Pardon me?
On the
That
back,
keeps-
right by where Louis is usually the stage,
The alley.
right before the alley
It
there.
happened on this side, you have to leave the alleys open, and then the rest go to Front Street.
That's what we talked about, but the chief seems to think that there would be more safety concerns leaving that alley open than closing the alley entirely.
The way he's presenting it is that there's going to be action happening right where the alley is, if I understood him right. And I was like, that the dance and the stage was set in front.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
So there's nothing going on in the alley.
No, and from the other side of the alley, there would be Punkteak.
And it's roped off, so
But the chief
there's
seems
not
to
gonna
think
be a
that there would be
flow
more
back and
safety
forth.
concerns by leaving that open.
Okay, the south side of the alley,
But there's not gonna be a flow.
Right, from the
Okay.
south, from the south side.
Let's get Mike and let's move on this.
How
and figure out
about
what
if we
can
would
do.
have Wade make a map that showed the whole block and sort of color coordinate, show where the stage is and the different times that the different uses would be. So we could have blue be Punkteak and we could have red be the dance.
So we're all on
That's
the same
fine.
So when we're
page.
gonna block it off, so that way it's clear to council when the different uses are gonna be. It seems very clear, we absolutely, during the evening uses, we don't want the alley to be open. Maybe the other times we can coordinate that with Chief De Laurentiis, maybe bring that back to council to the first meeting in August, seeing as how we have some time to do this.
That's plenty of time for us.
Give us
Yeah.
time to get it fixed, so
To
everybody
iron
was
it out.
clear about when everything's
Yeah,
going
that's
to
what
close.
I thought.
Let's do that.
Table it.
Okay, let's just table it then.
It'll give us plenty of time to come back.
Yeah, we're fine with that.
First meeting in September. I mean,
You want
August.
to
I want to do it in September.
motion to table this? Anyone?
Okay.
So could I get a motion to table this then till
August
meeting?
3rd.
Yeah, August 3rd.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor, to table the closure of South Front Street from Main to Front Street until next
August
meeting.
3rd?
August 3rd.
Okay. We have a first, second roll call, please.
Clevenger.
Aye.
Billy Grana.
Aye.
Edwards. Baker.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. All right, we'll iron out the kinks then.
You guys want to see me back?
So we'll get you together with Wade as soon as possible so we can
Thank you.
make that map. And
Okay, is there any other visitors?
we got the street closure for.
Oh, Nazarene Church. Let's just close the whole town.
No, I just want to close this much. My name is Susan McCoy. I represent the Nazarene Church. On August 1st, we're going to have a carnival for the children of the community. And we would like to have that street closed as we're going to have a dunk tank and a bounce house water slide right there in the street. So we'd like from Dewey to the end of our church, because we don't want to block off Jade Cafe or the Quick Stop. And it's going to be from 8 o'clock till 2.
Yes.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Okay, here we go.
8 o'clock till,
And you got the times in here?
yeah, from 8 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
till 2 in the afternoon. From Dewey Street, it's on 2nd Street right here on the 400 block, from Dewey Street to the end of our church. Because we don't want to block off Jade Cafe or Quick
Quick
Stop.
Stop. So you're not gonna block off either one of those
No,
businesses?
no.
Okay. And that includes, will you be blocking in front of the skate park over there?
Yes.
Well, I don't think,
And we only
Many
have
of
one
them
neighbor.
drive
There's
over there.
2 houses that are empty. So the one neighbor was okay with it.
okay.
Yeah.
And the other?
Huh?
Was there 2 neighbors?
There's 2 houses empty.
Okay.
So there's only 3 houses there. So the one next to the church and the one on the end is empty, but the one in between,
okay.
we talked to them and they had no problem with it.
All right. Any questions? Dory, do you have one?
I do. What is your water source for the slide, and how do you secure the bounce house in the street?
Well, this one will be new. We haven't used this one, but last time we had anchors on, because we had just a regular bounce house. So we had some kind of sandbags, that anchored it. So I'm not, honestly, I haven't.
They're coming with sandbags.
Oh, okay, they're coming. And then we'll just use our church water. A hose from our
I'd
church.
like to ask if the council would stipulate that the Nazarene Church sign an indemnification agreement for the city on this event,
For the,
because of the bounce house,
because of the entries?
possible.
Anyone else have questions on it? Just so, being in the middle of the street is what she's saying in case someone gets hurt or something. Falls from the top of the slide over the other side. Is what Dory's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be monitored very well.
Okay.
So you want us to sign it?
I need a motion, and I need that included, if you want.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the street closure on 2nd Street from Dewey to the end of the Nazarene Church, the 400 block, with the stipulation that they sign indemnification to the city.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. Roll call, please.
Clevenger.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Villagrana.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye.
Would the fact that should the time be put into that
Yeah, we could add that,
8 to 2?
8 to 2. Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
And just, she's gonna ask for you to have that amendment, or, yeah.
So do I just come back to her another day and have it, just come back to your
I'll have
office?
it ready for you
Okay.
the next day or two.
When do you want me to come?
Tomorrow.
She's quick.
Okay, I'll be there tomorrow. Thank you.
Afternoon.
All right, do I have any other visitors in the crowd? No one? Okay, we'll move on to unfinished business. Second reading, ordinance 6-2015, calling for an election and setting the ballot title. We don't have to read this, Ken, do we?
No,
Okay.
you'll recall that I did have December 3rd, 2025 in a couple places in this ordinance. That has been changed to December 31, 2025, which is the sunset of the extension of that 0.5% increase in sales and use tax if it passes or if it's passed by the voters. Does not need to be read on second reading.
Good.
So I would make a motion that we approve ordinance number 6, 2015, an ordinance calling for an election and setting the ballot title submitted to the registered actually the city of Florence, Colorado. Do I need to continue reading the rest of it?
I'll second.
We have first and second.
Just make sure the record's clear. It's the ballot question on the sales and use tax increase of 0.5%.
That's
it.
stated.
Okay.
Okay, roll call.
Villagrana.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Berenger.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye.
5.
New business, acceptance of the 2014 audit report. Who's gonna do that? Mary? She's looking at me.
We just need a motion. We just need a motion. We need a motion.
The audit was presented at 6:30 this evening by John Cutler, who is doing our audit for the first time. He had no findings, a couple recommendations going forward, but with one change that Mike found today on, and it's actually in the management's discussion section, to be submitted to the state by John Cutler, but I need to amend that one page, and I'll send him all the revised numbers to actually balance. It showed that he spoke that we, as a small city, were in a good financial standing, and that he found nothing during the audit by his auditors. So I don't know if you want, I mean, it will be put on the website for anybody to review. It's kind of 6 months old, but if you have any questions. It's a lot of numbers.
Yes. And he said we did really good on it. So that's a good thing.
I'll make a motion
Okay.
that we accept the 2014 audit report as presented with the
One-page
amendment that we made to it.
I'll second.
First and second, roll call, please.
Baker.
Aye.
Henninger.
Aye.
Villagrana.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
And Mayor Orr.
Aye. The audit's done. Okay, liquor license renewal for the Green Parrot Lounge, 223 West Main Street. Dory?
Okay, the paperwork is in order, the police report and the health officer reports are attached. And these have been paid. Standard annual renewal.
All right. Go to the second reading. reports on it, calls. So, okay,
I'll make a motion
all right.
that we approve the renewal of the liquor license for the Green Parent Lounge at 223 West Main Street as was presented.
Second. Got a first and second. Roll call, please.
Baker?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Canninger?
Aye.
Villagrana? Mayor Orr?
Aye. Okay. Next is Resolution 13-2015, a resolution of participation in coordination of election. Dory?
Each election year, we join with the county and other governmental agencies for a coordinated election. The entity has to pass a resolution that we are going to be participating in the coordinated election, which means that we sign an intergovernmental agreement with Fremont County that we pay our fair share of the election costs. And our election costs usually are fairly minimal because we usually just have the candidate elections. This year we will have the ballot question, which is a Tabor question. So we'll have some additional expenses because there's a booklet that is published prior to the ballots going out that states what the tax issue is.
Okay.
So we'll have to pay our portion of that this year. I know we adequately budgeted because it won't be over $5,000.
Wow. It usually runs about that, though, if you have anything on a ballot.
It's been running about 3.
All right. Any questions? Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution number 13, 2015, for participation in the coordinated election, allow the mayor to sign.
Second.
Have a first, second. Roll call, please.
Villagrana?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Canninger?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye. Okay, next is approval of signatures for all bank investment accounts.
I'm gonna have to table this till next time. I've discovered as I've been trying to get ready to look at all our banking, that there are some accounts that still have Svetlana on the accounts, but in order for me to change it, I have to list all the accounts. And I haven't been able to get a hold of Fowler State Bank, which is another one, so I have a feeling it's outdated as well. So let me bring back at the next meeting, all of the accounts that we need to have updated signatures. And because in order for them to change it, they need the account numbers listed, and I don't
Plus,
have that.
they need a motion.
Yeah,
They need
exactly.
An actual
So I
action
will
of the
put it,
council.
so we'll table it and put it back on the next.
So if we table this till August 3rd, will that be enough time for you?
Yeah, that's fine. I haven't
Okay.
had time to do much with them yet.
I need a motion to table this then.
I'll make a motion
Okay.
to table the approval of signature for all the bank investment accounts.
Second.
We have a first, second.
Until the next meeting.
Until August 3rd.
August the 3rd.
Okay.
Baker?
Aye.
Villagrana? Canninger?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye.
5 ayes.
Okay, mayor's report. Mayor's been gone. There hasn't been much report. So we'll move on to committee reports. Any committee reports? Larry?
I have one report, and it's just information. As many people may recall, several years ago, there was a group of people in Canyon City that were trying to build a new dinosaur museum, and that was going to be over at the Royal Gorge, and in conjunction with that, etc. And that, as I recall, that was turned down at an election, so it did not pass. Now there is another group, they came before the County Planning and Zoning meeting. At our last meeting, they have made another presentation, and it's going to be up on 8 Mile Hill, so to speak, right near the turnoff to the gorge, and it the planning and zoning, the county planning and zoning, we did approve it, and from what I understand, the commissioners, they will approve it also. The one thing that they're still working out is their financing. And so, but they were looking, before the bank would approve it, they had to get these other approvals. But I saw some drawings and so forth. It looks like a great, the location is very, very good. And if it comes anything close to what was presented at the meeting, it will be I think it will be a traffic stopping location. I think that it'll attract a lot of people. So I would hope that their financing does go through. And so anyways, that's the only thing I can report on that.
Paul?
Mayor, the city of Florence hosted a luncheon with the county commissioners and Kansas City Council Wednesday, and there was a number of topics that were discussed. Mayor Pro Tem Edwards called the meeting to order, and city manager concluded the business.